Hello and welcome to my Sunday chart analysis. This is Imi from iTradeAIMS.net, and in this video we're going to look at Forex, cryptocurrency, indices and some metals, gold, etc. All the charts to get us prepared for the week ahead. So let's begin. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get notification every time there's a new video. First off, we will look at Australian dollar. The Australian dollar has been going up since March. It's still going up, and we had this beautiful breakout here into the fifth wave up. It's going now sideways. It's gone into the gator. For people who are new to the channel and don't know what is on my chart, basically this is the modified alligator, which we call the AIMS gator. So we have the three normal lines and we have the purple line, the purple magic, and we have the eWave's light version, specially available for the members of iTradeAIMS. This is the modified version of AO, and it prints the quick 10-second Elliott waves on the histogram. The dots that you see are AIMS entry alert v5.1, which we use with the setup 1. We have a book on this and a whole course about this. The little circles that you see are the entry signals of the hunt method strategy. This is the cherry signal, and these dots are the hunt method seed signals. More on this inside the members area. So let's go to Australian dollar yen. Australian dollar yen, I'm looking at the weekly chart. As you can see, has recovered from the pandemic response all the way back. It came to this level earlier. That was somewhere in May, then pulled down, created some inside candles, went back up, hit it, but it hasn't cleared it. So we are going to see what it does around these levels. Is it going to come down or is it going to go up and break it? So on the daily chart, this could go sideways. If it goes sideways and puts put the gator to sleep, the AO might cross the zero line, and we probably might get another setup 1, but we would like it to clear these levels. Next up is EURUSD. Okay, so the EURUSD, as we all know, had a fantastic setup 1 signal here, went long. If you didn't take that, you had the Waltz pattern, which is the AIMS 2 seed. Over here, this produced a beautiful winner up there. Now what's happening is that it's going sideways. We had a cherry signal here, but I only what I use this for is something like, if I get a cherry signal all the way up there, as you can see, the AO is peaking, price has gone far away from the where it started when it was boxed. It's gone all the way up, and then there was a strong bearish candle before it. So what I do on this is that I would go to the 4-hour or the hourly chart, and inside it, if I see something over here on the next day like so, I would trade it to towards the highs to the left. So on this occasion it was here. So if you were going to take the cherry, you want to take it in these regions or in these regions, you know, when it breaks out. But obviously this wouldn't be a cherry signal because it's against the purple. Over here, the cherry was not valid because it was inside a box and you had already seen a strong break and the sideways market. What we want, the place we take the hunt and the cherry signals are around these areas. You know, when it breaks out, then pulls back, breaks out, pulls back. This itself was something that could have been taken on the 4-hour chart. But anyway, right now we are at the top. We are consolidating around this region here. So we have 3 trend candles or green candles. This is pulled back a bit. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we see that it's going sideways. Okay, so it's going sideways, and we'll see what it does around these levels. If it goes above that level, then we'll have plenty of more setups. Otherwise, it probably will bounce off it and start its journey towards the lows again, and that might produce some setups on the hourly chart. So let's see what happens. The Euro Yen has a fantastic wave 5 of the 3. So this is a 3 up. Inside the 3 we see this pullback down, putting the sleeping gator to sleep, and then going back up. So that there's a divergence here, which shows us that this is probably the 5 of this 3. If we were to increase the candles, as we can see here, we are less than the required minimum of 100 candles. So the idea is that to get the accurate count of the wave in question in front of you, you need to have at least 100 bars on the histogram, or maximum of 140. Right now, if we count it from the low of the price to the high, we have 71. So if you were to double it, that would be a 12-hour chart, and that would give us an accurate picture of this wave. But having done it for such a long time, I don't need to go to the 12-hour chart. I know that the wave 3 up within the 3 is a pretty strong move, and then the pullback was right at 50%. And the reason I know it's right at 50% is because when you set up the fib expansion tool, sorry, you can't see that menu up there, and then you drag this one first leg to the peak of 3, and you don't touch the next one, and if price is around that area, you would automatically know that this is pulled back to 50%. Let's test the idea by putting the drawing the fib expansion. As you can see, fib expansion. So the fib expansion shows you, it's a tool that we use for predicting where wave 5 will end. The fib retracement is basically just a measurement tool where you can measure retracements or pullbacks. If you can see, this pullback, the ABC pullback, stopped right at 50%. The idea is that 8 out of 10 times wave 4 will end between 38 to 50%. But in most cases, the overall range is between 23% to 62%. The ideal, the Goldilocks range of wave 4 is the 38 to 50%, and that's what it did here. And then you have the green dot, which means that this candle ignited an idea of going long, but it had broken the box level, so we were required to wait for a new box, which was here, and then you went long here and stop loss on the other side, and it's still going. So if you took a trade here, you could still be long unless you had your target point at the target zone 1, which is the fib expansion 62. Then it pulled back. So for the pullback entries, we have the hunt and the seed mechanism here. This is a perfect seed. The risk requirement was 80, and it has done 160 in the next few days. And if you stayed in it, let's suppose at 2R you sold half and brought stop loss to break even, then you're still in it. For this cherry, the range of the cherry was too big, and the high of the cherry was very close to the box, so your entry was supposed to be at the box, but that meant that your stop loss was too big. Instead of that, because you see these two things here, you could have taken a trade on the 4-hour chart or even on the hourly chart. The hourly chart obviously produced the most beautiful setup on the 12th of August. Your risk requirement here was just 25, and then within the next few hours you had done almost a 4R on that. Or if you stayed in it even the next day and you exited on the close of green, then you have 114 pips. So this is a simple strategy. You look at the daily chart, see which markets are trending, and when they start to trend, just keep taking trades on them on the hourly chart or the 4-hourly chart or the daily chart itself. Signals are available. So let's suppose you traded only the setup 1 on this, and then you also traded the seed and the cherry. Your yen was a beautiful princess for you. Euro pound is the next one. So euro pound, we see this might look like a setup 1 to some people, but to me it's not a setup 1 because this is not a clean wave 3. I want a clean wave 3. This is a parabolic kind of move, so that's not a clean wave 3. That's a very strong pullback. The reason I was not able to capitalize on this setup 1, but we managed to take the seed later on anyway, was because of this confusion. It's too strong and then too strong on the way back. Now it's going sideways. So if you were too keen on this, there would be nothing wrong with taking a trade up here, having your first target here to see what happens around these areas and in those areas. Right, that would be your targets. trade can be taken, but also this would be kind of a trade within sideways. If you go to the weekly chart, what you see is that it's largely a sideways market with huge swings. Volatility was high on it. You do have a seed signal here, but that's not the ideal one. Right, next one is the pound dollar. Again, pound dollar, I will mention these two cherries, which was one of the most beautiful cherries. If you took these cherries, you're either out with 2R in the next few days, or you're still holding a 4R position on this, 400 pips up, and market has not yet closed below the green line, so you're still long. This is not where I would normally take a seed, and particularly this seed I wouldn't take because there was a bearish candle before it. And when the seed appears and there's already a box, a tight box going sideways, or when AO is peaking, we would rather take the box breakouts. So what it's doing now is that it's setting up for some sort of a consolidation sideways. Let's see if let's see if this week it actually stays sideways like this, or is it going to challenge those levels up there? And if it challenges those and starts to go up, then there will be some more setups long on the hourly and the 4-hourly charts. Right now, 4-hour chart has a very strong 3, so it needs a flat wave 4 sideways. It's very difficult to trade inside these levels. We would rather wait for it to break those levels and then see what happens. The pound yen has hit the levels to the left. Let's go to the weekly chart. You can see there are so many levels to the left on this pair, and it's hit those levels again and again. So it went up, came down to it, then went back up. If you now go to the daily chart, we had a cherry here, but the purple was mixed up, so we didn't quite like it. What I loved was this seed signal here, the AIMS 2 seed or the Waltz seed. This was a very, very small risk trade. 80 pips was your stop loss, and your targets could easily be these levels, and it hit it nicely. We are long from this seed again. As you can see, it's a nice wave 5 up. It could go further up above that, so we have a couple of entries here, one here, one up there, and we're hoping that if it breaks these levels, then we can target those levels up here. As you can see, these ones. So see what happens, and then we can just let it run all the way. The pound Swizzy, quite clearly, it's sideways. Go to the weekly chart. It's kind of the gator is curling up. You have some sort of a 3, 4, 5, but that's not really a pretty wave. I will leave it as it is. But from what I see on the daily chart, this red candle followed by a doji. This could be indicating some setup on the 4-hour chart or the hourly chart, but it's too ugly at the moment. Next up, the Kiwi. So the Kiwi also had, as you can see, most of the charts kind of look similar. It's Forex. They're not as similar on the hourly charts. The lower the time frame you go, similarities kind of disappear, because the charts overall on the daily might be going overall in the same direction, but the intraday charts sometimes would produce quite a lot of patterns and setups against and in favor of the overall trend. Anyway, so after consolidating between April and May, it broke out, then it consolidated again during June, and much of July was also a consolidation until this break over here. We have kind of a reversal kind of a trade on this, based on this seed. We are positioning ourselves with a small trade with a 1-hour target over there to see if the market actually starts a journey back to these levels. And maybe this was just a response of New Zealand going back or finding a few more cases of COVID-19 or something like that, because that could be bad for the economy. See, dollar yen. Okay, so the dollar yen broke out of this. This is not really a clean setup one. so not everyone could have taken it, but it can be taken based on the fact that it was a nice breakout trade. So it breaks here, and if you trail the stop loss, then you had a good exit here. Otherwise it went back up, and when it creates a very strong candle like this, it kind of puts the whole concept of, you know, the downtrend into question. And if you did that, you were right, although I went short on this seed here, which turned into a loss. And when I look at it now, it feels pretty stupid for doing that, because this candle kind of tells you there is far more buying power than the sellers were doing it. So this is probably manipulation by banks and stuff, you know, where protecting certain levels and stuff, which happens usually with the yens. Next is dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is beautifully, nicely and slowly going down, completing its wave 5, minding its own business. As you can see, this is one of the most beautiful setup one. You have the red dot, sleeping gator, purple correct, fresh cross of zero line. You went short there, stop loss up there, price pulls back. You have a seed signal, went short on seed. Obviously the seed was converting to a break-even trade, and then stop loss brought to break even, so we got out there. But then there's another seed, the momentum seed, the AIMS 2 seed. We took another trade on that seed, and that seed is now free trade, taken half on that, and we are just letting it run to see where it goes, maybe these levels, and let's find out what happens next. So this is a pretty good setup that's still going on. On the Swizzy next, the breakout situation was similar to like the dollar yen situation here. If you took that, fine. If you didn't take it, then you had the seed signal. We have a double seed, the Hun seed and the AIMS 2 seed, and you could still be holding that trade if you took it from there. We took the cherry here, took the cherry, converting to break even. Regretfully, if we did not move stop loss to break even, we'll still be in this trade from there. But nevertheless, we took a trade after this dot candle below the box, and we trailed the candles and got out over here. And that's that. Now it's going sideways, much like the euro dollar. We will see if it continues to go sideways. This is actually a signal. This is a Waltz signal. It's not showing right now. It might show when the at the 10 o'clock open today at the UK. When it opens, it might show as a seed, but right now it is showing that this could be a setup, but the levels, the support levels are very close, so the risk reward is not really appropriate in this. So we'll wait for it, what it does during the week. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. So as you know, on Bitcoin we went long from here and from there, and now we have hit our target point. I think we trailed the candles up there as well. So this push down kind of kicked us out, but that's fine. I think we shouldn't have got out because we'd already taken 2/3 of profits. Should have waited for it. This thing still has a potential to go up because these levels are not hit. So it can actually try 12,300, and if it clears that, then the next level is 13,800, and if it clears that, then obviously it's going to go to 18,000, right? Meanwhile, you can see on the weekly chart that you have a strong move up, hits those levels, pulls back. Within the pullback, you have the nice hunt and cherry signal. If you just look at the weekly charts and apply these signals, you'll get plenty of trades during the year. And you can apply these signals. If you learn how to spot a hunt signal, you can actually look at not just the hunt signal, a setup one as well. You can apply it to stocks and check the charts using our trading views indicators. You go to trading view charts and find those. I'm going to make a video on that in sometime in the future, recent, hopefully soon, how to basically look for setup ones using a scanner that I've designed. So the market will throw at you at every weekend. A bunch of stocks, about 100 or so I've been finding, and then you can qualify them and take one or two of them every week to see, you know, to catch a setup one on the daily charts using stocks. Okay, so gold, an interesting situation is happening right now. So what we see on the daily chart, as you know, one of the biggest, most beautiful setup one happened. At that time, we were going into a wave 5, and as it happens in strong trends, what we thought was a 5 actually turned into a 3. There was a trade here, then there was a signal here. It's a seed signal, but the box high is too close, so you probably went above the box, stop loss here, and obviously stopped out on this candle. After that candle was printed, this is a bearish divergent candle, the BTC, and which was followed by a reversal Waltz pattern, which is this one here. I talked about this in my last video, last Sunday video, that this indicates very strongly this was indicating that price was going to come back to the green or further down. I wasn't expecting this stronger move, but it just went berserk. It went down. So that's like that is a 46, or yeah, how much? 2017. Yeah, around 30, let's say $40 risk, and in the next few days it went $100 down. So there you go. That's a pretty strong move, and this was visible here on the hourly chart, like so. So when you have the strong bearish candle, you wait for the next day to be boxed like so, and then you put your pending order here and stop loss up there. And if you just simply did that, and the next day it just dropped like a ton of feather. Now it's consolidating, going sideways. So some sort of a sell setup, let's see. But I think the market most probably took it as an opportunity to buy more gold around here. But that's a very sharp decline. For me, this is like a bearish setup. So we are short on it for now. But if it fails, then we'll see if we can start to actually trade long again when it goes above these levels. So during the week, we could have more selling or buying opportunities on this. Okay, oil is consolidating, just going sideways. So we need a strong breakout here. So if it breaks out and then there's a seed candle after it, probably trade that. That's all there is to it. And now let's go to the indices. So this is the NASDAQ 100, the most fantastically diagonal 45 degree. Let's actually find out if it is a 45 degree. Here we go. Not a 45. 45 would be like that. Hold on. Let's do it again. So if I start right at the bottom. So it's around 35 degrees. Actually, it's less than that. It wasn't 35. Around here, it was parabolic type. It was 60 degrees. But after that, it just normalized itself. And it's just been going steady up with nice, lovely pullback entries. You can see up, pullback, cherry, up, pullback, up, pullback, up, pullback, cherry, up, pullback, dot, up, pullback, cherry. It's just been going up nicely. Right now it's too far up. We need it to either, if you keep taking the pullback entries and it continues to happen, you can still continue to do so. Otherwise, you want it to actually go sideways a bit. That's how it is. Right, next one is the DAX 30, the beautiful DAX that we trade every day, London Open on the 1 minute chart. This has done kind of a truncated wave 5 of the 3. So we have the 3 up, and now we are in a 4 sideways. So that's the situation. Some people would have considered this as a setup one long. They're probably long from here. Okay, the US 30 It has broken the high of the box here earlier this last week, the week before, 6th of August, and now it has formed a double seed scenario, and this can break out any direction, so it can go up or down. Looks like the breakout to the lows, this seed here. So we have I have bracketed this, a sell and a buy order, and looks like we'll be stopped out of the sell, and the buy order might trigger up. So if it does that and it hits that level, we'll be out 1:1, and we'll let the rest run. Let's see where it goes. Right now you have a pretty clear wave going on. You have a 3 up, 4 down, and target zone 1 is still far away. So this can produce, it can go to 28,700 if it breaks out above those levels. The UK 100, the UK economy is not really doing well. We are doing well with the pandemic, which also means that most of the businesses are suffering, but health is most important. So we are officially in a recession. Some would even call it depression, but that's what it is, and that's why your index is still going sideways. I think the sideways index is still a pretty good sign. There's still trust and confidence in the British economy so far. So we're going sideways, and these are the levels. We'll see what happens as it goes up. This was something I was considering when it was going up, but these levels stopped me. It didn't break above this seed candle anyway. So we wanted to break in either direction, and then if it does, then we will be looking for pullbacks and trade those. So that concludes this Sunday analysis. If you have any questions and comments, please do ask me in the comment section. We are not a very big channel, so every comment I can read and reply to. If you have any question, please do so, and hit the like button and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.